Hello everyone, it's Miss Joseph here again, the Guidance Counsellor at the Seventh-day Adventist School, with another episode of Talking to Teacher Joseph. Today I have a special treat for you. We're going to meet the girls and the boys of the Real-Time Faith lesson. Today, I'm going to have you meet our three lovely young ladies who volunteered to work for God and present the Real-Time Faith lesson to you guys out there. We have with us Zane, a Form 4 student at the Seventh-day Adventist School. We have Nearly, also a Form 4 student at the Seventh-day Adventist School, and Alicia, Form 4 as well at the Seventh-day Adventist School. They're going to be talking to us a little bit about why they decided to participate in this missionary effort and a little bit about themselves and how they work for God. Let's start with, who should we start with first? Let's start with Alicia. Hello, Alicia.
Hi.
Don't be so nervous. You know Miss Joseph. Alicia, could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
As you know, my name is Alicia Lewis. I attend the Clare House Seventh-day Adventist Church, and I have been going to the Seventh-day Adventist School since kindergarten.
Wow. So it's 11 years now.
Yeah.
Wow. Nearly. Could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
My name is Nerdy Saint Jean.
Oh.
I attend Baptist Church.
Okay. So you are not a Seventh-day Adventist, you are a Baptist?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And Zane, could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name is Zane Appleton. I'm not baptized, by the way, but I attend the Covenant Baptist Church, and I was attending the secondary Seventh-day Adventist School since first form.
Okay. And it's a pleasure to teach all of you. Now, in this day and age, there are many teenagers who go their own way, who do their own thing. What made you guys decide, hey, I'm going to be a follower of God, I'm going to be a follower of Jesus, I'm going to be a Christian? What made you guys decide that?
Well, I'll go first. Personally, since attending the school, I've learned a lot of things about God, and including my friends like Angel, Tito, and my lovely teacher, Miss Webson. And they really taught me that God is there for me through thick and thin, and that He promised everlasting peace, no more hurt, no more crying, no more pain, and that sounds pretty exciting to me, so I just chose to.
Wow, a better way. Nearly, what about you? What made you decide to be a Christian?
Well, I grew up in church, first of all, and then I chose to be a Christian because I want everlasting life, and then I want when God come back for me to go with Him, not to go in hell.
Okay, all right. So you see the promises that God has given and you believe in those promises.
Yes.
And you want that life that God has promised.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and Alicia, why did you decide to become a Christian?
Well, I decided to become a Christian because I grew up in church since I was a little baby. And I was given the opportunity to learn about God and what He expects of us. And I want to fulfill what He wants me to fulfill.
All right. Those are excellent reasons, and God wants each of us to make that decision for Him. He puts people in our lives, as Zane said, who guide us, or He puts us in situations that allow us to realize who He is and that He loves us, He's taking care of us, and if we follow Him, we'll have peace and life eternal. Peace in this troublesome world and life eternal when it's over. So, excellent reasons, girls. But you are in a real world. You are with real young people around you, and there are a lot of distractions. Do you find it challenging to be a Christian teenager? What are some of the challenges you encounter?
Let me answer first because I have a lot of challenging. Being a Christian is nice, but stay a Christian, it's hard because there are some things in the world like social media. It's a challenging for me.
Okay, it's a distraction?
Yes, it's a distraction.
Okay, in what way? Is it that you post things that you shouldn't, or you get caught up or excited about other people's posts? In what ways is it a challenge? Or you spend too much time on it?
I spend too much time on it. That is
Okay.
it, yes,
Okay,
yes.
all right. So sometimes you spend too much time on social media.
Yes, that's
Okay,
the
and the
problem.
things that you need to focus on, you don't focus on.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. But I continue to pray to God for Him to help me to stop, because I need to spend time for God.
Okay, all right. And what about the two of you? Any challenges?
My main challenge is peer pressure. There are many bad influences who I am believing that the devil is trying to use to distract us from God, and that is one of my main challenges.
Okay, so sometimes people are telling you about things that they do that you know is not right, and sometimes you get pressured or you get tempted into doing those things. Okay, all right. And what about you, Zane? Any challenges?
Not really, no. Why I say so, like I mentioned from before, I have people to always guide me in the right way, and usually social media isn't really much of an issue for me, because I look for quotes that I can post on my status, to lift anybody who probably needs it, and I just have a lot of good people to help me out. So
Okay, and I really like that. I know when persons have statuses that are really uplifting, it helps me. Sometimes you're going through a bad day and you see somebody's status right at that particular moment, and it really lifts you. So that is a way of witnessing and helping others for God and overcoming some of the challenges. Well, girls, it's a pleasure talking to you. And you will get to see more of them as they work on presenting the real-time faith lessons for you. Hopefully you enjoy their efforts, and I know they enjoy putting it together for you, and it will be a blessing for you. Thank you. I'm back with the boys of real-time faith. We have two young men who have also decided to be Christians. And they're going to share with us if they encounter any challenges as being Christian teens, and also what they do as Christians to stay close to God. I have with me Avery, who is a second form student at the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School, and I also have Kadesh, who is a third form student at the Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School. I'll let them introduce themselves and say a few words about who they are. I'll start with Avery.
Hi, my name is Avery Williams. I am 13 years old. I have been attending the Antigua Barbados Seventh-day Adventist School from the age of 5 in 2012 in kindergarten. Can't complain. It was and it still is a good experience going through school.
Okay, so you also have been with us since you were 5, huh?
Yes.
Okay, and Kadesh?
My name is Kadesh Wilson. I also started the school since kindergarten, and I love it so far. And so far it's been very uplifting, and knowing that I have Christian teachers who can also support my Christian beliefs.
Okay, talking with the girls from Real Time Faith, and just like the girls, you boys have also made a decision to follow God. Could you tell me if you encounter any challenges as being a Christian teenage boy?
Well, I wouldn't really want to call it a challenge. I mean, you can call it a challenge depending on what your opinion or how you want to interpret it. But I think I have a great relationship with God personally. I speak to Him and, talk to Him frequently. But recently during the pandemic, with all that's going on, I think I should put away, certain things and make some more space for God, because we never know when He's coming, and we don't know how long we're going to live for. We don't know when it's our time, and I think that I should, draw myself closer to Him.
Okay, so the pandemic has made you a little bit more aware of the fact that God's coming is even at the door, very, very close, and you want to become even closer to God.
Yes.
All right. Any challenges, Kadesh, that you encounter being a Christian teenager?
Yes, I do have challenges. Sometimes I tend to compare myself to others. Like, let's just say, for example, my grades are dropping and someone else's grades are getting better. I would say, oh wow, their grades are good, and bring myself down. And so I think I need to help get a better relationship with God, and that will help me to strengthen my self-confidence.
Okay. So sometimes you tend to want to rely more on yourself and what can I do to improve and so forth, rather than depending more on God to allow Him to strengthen you. Okay? All right. And that is a challenge that a number of persons face, not only teenagers, Kadesh. Many of us sometimes get worried as we look at others, and that's why God encourages us not to look at anybody else, but to look to Him first. Always look to Him to see how we are doing. Okay, boys?
Yes, I mean, I must be honest, I think I do that sometimes.
You do that as well. Okay. I think we all do. We all tend to look at others sometimes, and when we take our eyes off of God, that is where poor self-esteem, lack of self-confidence, all of those things will come in once we take our eyes off of God. Now, what are you doing now during the pandemic? We're living through the pandemic, the first one in 100 years, and now in your everyday life to grow closer to God.
Well, recently in Christian lifestyle, we've been looking at spiritual goals, and one of my overall goal was to, draw myself closer to God. And recently, I've been striving to read at least one particular area of the Revelation.
Oh, okay.
So just for example, I may really read Revelation chapter 8, and I may read 10 verses per day of that, and pray and ask God to protect me and people that are around me.
Okay. Okay, and that's a great idea. And I would encourage you guys out there to make daily Bible reading a part of your life, whether you choose a book like every day, Revelation, and also to use a translation that you understand. Some persons understand the King James Version, some persons understand the New King James Version better, some persons, I personally like the New Living Translation. Use a version that you understand, because God has given us His Word in order to, as a guide for our lives. Now, Kadesh, what do you do in order to grow closer to God?
Well, like I have a close relationship with God. Every morning I try my best to wake up early enough so I can have at least half an hour to spend with God. And I also try to be a good example, and to not only be a good example but observe what others do, so and not only use my opinion but get someone else's opinion, so I can have both my opinion and others to make a good, solid foundation.
And a good decision.
A good decision.
Remember that Christianity isn't just a brand name that we throw around. Christianity is faith that we actually live in our everyday life. And you've met the real-time faith teenagers who are, each day, God is running after them and they are running to Him. And I would encourage all of us to continue to run to God, because He's certainly reaching out to all of us. And when we put our hands in His and we walk with Him, He guarantees us peace in this stormy world and an eternal life with Him. Thank you so much for listening to us.